So, okay, this first poem is something I wrote a couple days ago. It's called At Rainbow's End. There's no gold to be found here, not even a limerick spouting leprechaun. One finds the absolute end of illusion by oneself in the profound wisdom of solitude. Painted by the colors of experience, the scene is self-reflective. A full circle journey leads nowhere if one is looking for a final destination. But if one seeks sanctuary beyond self-delusion, this is a place where dreams are manufactured and the kernels of inner truth are sown. This is a place of beginnings and grounding, the source of all light in the world. This next piece is called Flux. A great philosopher once strolled onto a craggy promontory overlooking the vast ocean. He became captivated by the fluid motion of the sea. Noticing the turbulence touched a distant longing inside of his being, its waves moving throughout the bedrock of his body. For many years he stared outward, contemplating the laws of nature, solving the equations that held everything together for him, only to find a missing variable once again. There was something he couldn't see, so the sage spent even more hours with the solitude of the deep, becoming older and saltier, immune to the foibles and concerns of common men. Over time, the wise one failed to notice the beach had eroded measurably. His lookout post was barely above sea level any longer, and his ankles were already submerged during high tides. He didn't even feel the ocean's spray splashing against his brow with its lather, because of his heroic quest to understand everything intellectually. The storm clouds this one particular day looked quite ominous, but he alone did not believe in omens. He strolled out onto the rocks as was his habit, shunning emotions only felt by the weak. For a moment the sea seemed to hold its breath and all was calm. An instant later, a giant wave crashed onto the beach, knocking the thinker over and drawing him into the sea. He managed to tread water back to shore when he made it to his feet. He had a triumphant look on his face and raised his fists into the air, shouting, "I finally figured it out." So overjoyed with his discovery was he, that he stood motionless on the beach, entranced by hubris, his back to the water. Once again he made a slight miscalculation, and didn't observe the even bigger wave behind him that swallowed him whole. His great insight finally sinking in, spiraling down into the depths without a trace. It's called Jigsaw. We come in pieces, some as if we were cut like cookies from a mold, some still quite rough around the edges. You may notice we resemble those surrounding us, but differ in critical ways. Assemble us at the corners, then edges, working your way inside as we begin to fit together. But be careful, some of us get lost in our journeys, from box to table, table back to box, before being completed. Or worse, we never even get opened and feel discarded. With each year, our complexity and number of pieces increase. Yet our only guide is the image on a puzzle box, handed down to us before we could remember. We now realize no one ever gave us a clue, that we had to picture the image clearly in a positive light to have any hope of coming together. And this is my last piece. It's called Escape. Hounded by my past, I am driven by an insatiable desire to clear my name, to explain myself. Having had little choice up until now to do so fully. Finally prepared to face my accusers, and willing to accept responsibility if given a hearing. Weary from struggling uphill, I hear dogs barking in the distance, hot on my trail, my gasps falling irregularly between palpitating heartbeats. Howling and swirling, the most onerous of companions, a biting wind rustles the trees I look down upon, across the abyss. The gusts whip directly through me, drying my eyes now burning, like my chapped cheeks and cracked lips, making the trek ever more arduous, draining my waning endurance. The path before me narrows. Left is the craggy chasm below from which I climbed. To the right, the path continues, turning up sharply, clockwise, forbidding if not impassable. Inching forward to get a better view, I realize escape is impossible. Looking ahead, there's nothing but sky between where I stand and peaks in the distance. Looking behind, there's nothing to go back to, even if I survive. The rocks below beckon, knowing running away presumes my guilt. Walking a winding gravel plank, on the verge of falling from a precipice, I totter from vertigo, the drop down dawning, defying me to go forward. I must make a leap of faith around a blind corner, lunging while leaning in, hoping to maintain my balance if there is a landing on the other side. Fully aware I'm only assuming the path doesn't end here, as I hear the clamor of angry voices approaching in the background. 1. I take a deep breath in. 2. I exhale, gathering myself to face judgment. 3. I spring, desperately hoping to grasp an opening in the mountainside, a foothold to cling on to. I blink for an eternity as time stands still, refusing to tell any of its secrets. Then my shutters open wide. Looking behind, the once ominous mountain of shame no longer threatens. The path from which I arrived vanishing. Nothing is chasing me anymore. Looking ahead, the rocky incriminations recede into the background. The tired shoulders of memory bear no weight as my head floats among the clouds, unattached to the material world. No longer running, I am certain Providence has passed judgment, affirming my innocence and integrity. Once the courage to let go emerged, I got caught up in a wind of salvation that is yet to let me down.
Yeah.
Thank you.